Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Danny Rodriguez, and I am the Public Relations Chair for the Associated Student Government here at the University of San Diego. I would like to thank you all for tuning in on our virtual session on election informationals. This isn't the ideal media to do it through, but this is the best way to do it at the moment just to ensure the safety and well-being of yourselves and also everyone in our community. I do want to disclaim very briefly that in order to ensure that all students are going through this informational, there will be a follow-up quiz which you must complete just to, again, ensure that everyone is participating in this informational. For the most up-to-date updates on elections and the timeline and process, please refer to our ASG website, again, for the most accurate information. So let's begin. So what is the Associated Student Government? First of all, the Associated Student Government is composed of two bodies. The first one is the Student Government, and the second one is the Programming Board. So that is how we have ASG and TPB, but they both work together under the same ASG branch. Both are funded by the student activity fee, which is a fee that every student, undergraduate student at the University of San Diego pays as part of your, price to attend USD. They are both comprised of elected and appointed positions, and later on in the presentation we'll go over that a little bit more. The Associated Student Government advocates for student issues. It could be, one issue that the entire government is taking on as a team, or it could also be an issue that maybe you as a student representative or leader are very passionate about, and you use this platform to proceed with that. Financially supports various campus services. Some of those can be within this last school year. We've brought on, the Aussie boxes, to-go boxes, which you can use at the SLP. That is funded with your student activity fee. We also partially fund the commons and different centers on campus, which provide resources to our students. And it also funds things like the TPB Music Fest, concerts, giveaways, initiatives that senators would like to bring on. So there's a lot of things which your activity fee goes to. ASG also facilitates communication between student organizations, and we serve as the official student voice to administration. So within ASG, you will have opportunities to sit in various meetings with different administrators on campus or faculty to, carry out your either initiatives or concerns or address the most pressing issues on campus. The ASG Mission Statement is the Associated Student Government serves the University of San Diego undergraduates as official representatives who promote opportunities for growth and expression, address student issues, and enrich a diverse, inclusive, and engaged community. So that is our mission statement, and that is how we lead as leaders, is by sticking to this statement. The way that our ASG body is comprised, or how it works, is with three bodies. So the first one we have is the executive. We also have the legislative and judicial. We'll begin first by explaining the executive branch here. So there is the executive board, which is comprised of the president, the vice president, the Terrell program board chair, the chief of staff, public relations chair, the finance chair, but it also includes the speaker of the Senate and the chief justice. So this is the team which comprises the executive board and represents ASG as a whole. So firstly, over here to the left, we have the executive board. So we have these positions here, and then the Terrell Program Board chair is in charge of all programming that ASG takes on. So under the Chair Program Board, there is the TPP Vice Chairs and all the coordinators and other student leaders which work under there. Here we have the Speaker of the Senate who I guess oversees all of the Senate. All of the Senate is firstly comprised of academic and residential senators, two of which I will explain later, and some of the positions which both of these bodies, academic and residential senators is everyone in the Senate. And out of these two pools, there are these chairs and other positions which are filled. One of them being the Speaker Pro Tempore, which steps in for the Speaker of the Senate when they cannot be present. We have the Chair of Academics, Chair of Inclusion, Diversity and Equity, Chair of Student Life, and Chair of Student Orgs, which are our four main committees within the Senate. We do have three other subcommittees, which are, there we are. We have the Chair of Athletics, Chair of Health and Wellness, and Chair of Sustainability. So within all of these different committees, they all take on tasks and initiatives that tackle these specific goals. Our newest addition to the ASG team, I got a pop-up, sorry. Excuse that. We have the judicial branch, which is headed by our Chief Justice, and under that is a parliamentarian, which attends our Senate meetings, and everyone on ASG needs to be familiar with Robert's Rules of Order, but our parliamentarian primarily is the one who makes sure that our Senate meetings abide by those rules. And then we have three associate justices. So those are our three main branches within ASG. The requirements to participate within this ASG is first you need to be a full-time student. So that just means that you need to be enrolled in a minimum of 12 units. You must have a minimum cumulative GPA of 2.5. We want to make sure that you are not only leading within your position, but also within the classroom as well. You must attend an election informational, which you are all doing right now. And then you also must complete an elections packet. This is what we've changed a little bit. You are just required to submit the online application and then a DARS screenshot to verify that you are a full-time student. And then we will go in and also make sure that you have the minimum GPA requirement. In the past, historically, there has been requirements for 50 signatures for you to run a campaign, but due to these circumstances, which we are in with COVID-19, we are scratching that off as one of the requirements. So only the online application, the DARS screenshot is the two requirements which we are asking for. Academic senators must be declared in a major of the college for which they represent. So that is to say, if you're going to be, a School of Engineering senator, you must have a declared major, and we'll also refer to your DARS to look at that as well. And you cannot hold a two or more ASG positions at a time. This always comes up that someone might say they want to be, in TPB, but also serve as a senator, or they want to be a senator and maybe serve on the executive board, or, so you can only fulfill one position at a time. The available ASG positions which we have are, as I said before, elected and appointed positions. Those elected positions are comprised of these here. You can see there's residential senators, which represent the all on-campus housing buildings, and then we have the commuter senators, which represent our commuting student population, and we have at-large senators, which if you have questions about, you can refer to us, but basically an at-large senator can be a position which is made up for a certain population on campus that isn't represented, for example, in the residential commuter or academic positions. We have the School of Business Senator, School of Engineering Senator, College of Arts and Sciences Senators, which is the one that we have most of. And then we have our Vice President and President under elected positions. Under our appointed positions, we have most of the Executive Board as well as Associate Justices. So here you will find the Chief of Staff, Public Relations Chair, Finance Chair, Associate Justices, and Speaker of the Senate. The Speaker of the Senate is unique in that in order to become the Speaker of the Senate, you have to be a senator already. So the way that works is that you would run as a academic or residential senator, and from there the Senate will choose who they want to represent them as Speaker. Going on, responsibilities of the executive branch. So here is the description for President and Vice President. First, President presides over the ASG executive branch. So they oversee, everyone within that body. You can also refer back to our chart that we have there, so you can see where each position lies. Appoint students to university-wide standing committees, and they serve as an ASG representative on the Student Affairs Committee of the Board of Trustees. The Vice President serves as a voting student representation on committees related to academics, such as the Undergraduate Curriculum Committee. They participate in the University Senate as scheduled by the university. They supervise and assist the Chair of Academics, and they serve as the ASG representative on the Academics Affairs Committee of the Board of Trustees. So the Vice President, again, works closely with all academic, or most academic-related activities and issues. So that is why they work with the Chair of Academics on the Senate most closely too. Moving on, we have the Public Relations Chair, which is the position that I hold, and this position basically oversees all external communication matters involving ASG. That can include social media, digital, print. You will serve as, the voice of ASG, so you you respond to a lot of emails as well, and you speak with, media, both on campus and off campus. You serve as the liaison between ASG and the USD Office of Public Affairs, and you help coordinate ASG fall and spring elections. The Finance Chair presides over Finance Committee and the Associated Student Government Budget Committee. The Finance Committee convenes multiple times throughout the semester to oversee the budget, which we explained earlier, which everyone pays to, which is a student activity fee. So that's, presides over those meetings. The Finance Chair also does ASGBC, which is a committee which is in charge of distributing funds to student organizations, for example, and they meet weekly as well. The Chief of Staff assumes any duties assigned to them by the Executive Board or the ASG Advisor, and they help with mostly making sure that everyone has all the resources that they need on the Executive Board to carry out their tasks, and also just keep ASG organized. Continuing on to the responsibilities of the judicial branch, first we have the Chief Justice, which again I mentioned serves on the Executive Board. The Chief Justice presides over or appoint the presiding justice to all court sessions and hearings. They initiate the process for any and all campus-wide referendums of the ASG, call special meetings of the Judicial Cabinet, and they serve on the ASG Executive Board, as I stated. The parliamentarian is a judicial expert on the ASG Constitution and bylaws, as well as Robert's Rules of Order. This is really important, not just for the parliamentarian, but everyone who is on ASG, that they are knowledgeable of the ASG Constitution, bylaws, and Robert's Rules of Order. But here the parliamentarian is the expert, I guess you could say. They will also be the representative from the judicial branch at all scheduled ASG Senate meetings, and they represent the Chief Justice in their absence. There are also 3 associate justices, which they are in charge of, they are the judicial experts as well on the ASG Constitution bylaws, as well as Robert's Rules of Order, and they write a judicial opinion in each case detailing their concurrence or dissent. The responsibilities of ASG members, you can see the more in-depth descriptions on our website, which is right here. If you have any other questions, you can also reach out to me at ascommunications@sandiego.edu, which will be, I'll show you later as well, my email with any questions. The benefits of being on ASG, first of all, it's an excellent student leadership opportunity. You will be able to learn a lot of what leadership means. You learn a lot of professional skills as well, since you're constantly meeting with multiple people, multiple bodies of different backgrounds and powers. You're able to make a difference and influence what happens at USD, which is very, very true. While serving on ASG, you can, for example, serve on a committee which has to do most closely with, some pressing issue within a residential housing, or a big change that might be going on in one of our colleges. It looks great on a resume, and employers love to see student government. And you will also be recognized by your peers and administrators. You are working with them most closely, so this is a great benefit of working on ASG. And student leaders may receive federal work service awards, and it is something that has happened historically, that while being on ASG, you do get compensated for your job. So the Timeframe of Election, this is again the most up-to-date information which we have, but please refer to our website for the most accurate information. So from now until March 27th, we are having informationals. So by watching this video, you'll fulfill that requirement, and just make sure you fill out the quick quiz following. On March 29th, all applications are due, and that requires the application requirements, which is the online application and the JARS screenshot. On March 30th, we will notify and we'll give out the notification and approval of the candidates, to basically say that you have the green light to run a campaign. From March 30th through April 3rd, we have the campaigning week. This year, since we are working remotely, you would be running your campaign mostly through social media platforms. Yes, I'm so sorry, this is not the ideal way to do it, but this is what we have to work with at the moment. So you can use things like maybe a personal Instagram, or if you open a campaign account to run your campaign. The only thing is that I ask you again to please refer to our election bylaws, as you will see some restrictions that we have on campaigning. I want to make it really clear that you cannot, under no circumstances, be endorsed by any student organization or center on campus. So that is one obstacle that you might run into. April 6th, continuing on, we have the primary debate. Following the next day, we have the voting window for 24 hours. April 15th, we have the final debate for it is our final debate. And then April 16th and 17th, we have the 24-hour voting window. And then April 20th, we have the announcement of the candidates. And May 7th, we have the swearing in. The time frame for appointed positions, a little bit different since you are not running a campaign. But from the 16th through from March 16th, to April 16th, you have the informationals. So you all have access to this a little bit longer. April 20th, your applications are due, and you do have to do the online application as well as the JARS screenshot. And then from April 27th to May 1st, we have interviews, which will be you, the candidate, and members of the executive board. And then May 5th, we will give out the notification of decisions, and May 7th, you will be sworn in along with all the other positions. Declaring your candidacy, this is what I was saying before, just touching on the subject, the ASG application along with the election bylaws will be emailed to you sometime after completing the informational quiz with at least an 80%. So please make sure that you're referring back to this informational session if you have any questions, and please be sure to fill out the application by March 25th at 5 p.m. And we're really strict with our timelines, with our deadlines, so make sure that you do them on time. And then the screenshot of your degree works must also be emailed to ascommunications@sandiego.edu by March 29th at midnight. Election rules. It is your responsibility to know all rules and regulations as they relate to campaigning and election process. These can be found in the Associated Students Election Bylaws on our website. And USD posting policy is strict, so please know and understand it. Please look it up. I don't see, since no one is on campus anymore, as to why you might be printing out, campaigning materials. So, some frequently asked questions. One of them is, will I be compensated for being on ASG? The answer is in the past, as I stated earlier. Year's work services awards for most ASG positions, including senators, have been distributed. This is something that has gone on historically in the past, but it is not always a for sure for your position or like for your time. There's always maybe if you don't fulfill your requirements for your position, or if you don't maintain your position, you might not receive compensation for that. And another frequently asked question is, can I appeal the results? Yes. See the election bylaws for full details. Please note that appeals must be submitted to the Chief Justice no later than 3 school days after the election. So that is why we have some time gaps between the election results versus of the swearing in. So if you have a concern, a complaint, you could take that to the Chief Justice and it will be reviewed by the judicial branch. If you have any other questions, please email ascommunications@sandiego.edu. That is my email. I know, as I said, this isn't the ideal way to go about our informationals, so I hope I was able to do it as best as possible, but if there is any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I'll try to get back to you within 24 hours. So yeah, please follow us at USD on Instagram at USD_ASG for more information as we take on the rest of the school year. That is it for me. I hope you are all being safe and practicing healthy methods during this COVID-19 crisis. And that is it. Thank you for joining us today. Please make sure to fill out your quiz. And again, any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or anyone on the ASG team. Thank you so much for joining, and good luck.